Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I am Tanya E. Hood, a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, it simply means I've worn a lot of different hats in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. Red Alert Diaries is based on the life lessons from my premier book, Red Alert. Is he the one? The pocket guide to finding the love of your life. Now, if you read my book, you already know that I got married at 21. And after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my two sons alone. To reset my life and survive my divorce, I took the time I needed to get to know me better, which opened me up to new love again. So now I'm in a new marriage to the love of my life and my best friend, which just proves there is life after divorce. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage, divorce, money, and legacy. I want you to join me on the journey. And today I want to have a conversation about thinking about problem solving and opportunities. Sometimes we don't take the thought process that problem solving and opportunity seeking start with your perspective. Your perspective about how you're going to walk through life, deal with the ups and downs and the chaos. It will determine how you actually make it through. A lot of you know my story, coming on the heels of my divorce where it left me broke and broken. I was like a story that I once read about this man who was sick for years. He had an illness that no one really knew how to truly solve. But one day he heard about this method that he could use. So he went to go search for whatever that method was, and only to find out that he couldn't get any closer to his solution. He had done this year after year after year, decade after decade past. Think about that. If you have been dealing with the same situation for over a decade, then sometimes you don't feel like there's a possibility of ever finding a solution. Some parts of you want to have a glimmer of hope, but most of the time, you don't. You say to others, yes, I believe I can still get my breakthrough. But inside, your soul is slowly dying. Inside, you are just waiting with the thought process, it will get better, recognizing that it's been so long, it probably won't. You see, how you deal with the problem and the opportunities that show up for it to become a solution for you is your perspective. This is where I had to go through learning a couple of things, and I share with you all the 3 C's that I walked through. Now, for those of you that are wondering, what's 3 C's? Well, if you get my premier book, Red Alert, Is He the One? This is found in chapter 6. Because by the time I got to chapter 6, I had to go through getting really clear about what to do next. Because it was only in that position that I was going to be able to move myself and my babies out of the chaos and the craziness that I found myself in. The first C is clarification. You got to clarify what you're going through. And that means you got to be honest with your pain, honest with your hurt, honest with what you are currently dealing with. If you never tell anybody else but yourself the truth has to be spoken in that moment to clarify what you're dealing with. And like that man that was in the story that I read that had been suffering for more than a decade, when he finally had someone that came to him with a solution and was asked, do you want to be whole? Instead of saying yes, which in my mind would have been the correct answer, the right answer, the answer that you really have been seeking all this time, he gives an excuse. How many times in your life have you been presented with an answer and you gave an excuse? Now, I know that I did the same thing that this man did as well. And when I read that story, it hit me. I had been dealing with more excuses than making a decision to change my perspective to get a new solution, which led me to the next C, connection. When you're in the middle of some situations, especially when you're dealing with relationships, you've got to determine if that relationship is a relationship that you want to connect with, or the third C, something you need to close. You see, there are often things in your life that you have to close off in order for you to be open to other elements. And I had to get gut clear with myself what I wanted to have in life for real. Because we are all good at creating excuses. When you see challenges that show up, it's really easy to come up with an excuse, the excuse that you have been done wrong. So you have the right to feel the way you feel and wallow the way you wallow. That is a true statement, but it is still an excuse. When we often go through some of the chaos and trauma, I had the perfect opportunity being a single Black woman in America. There were so many others that were walking through my same experience. I had a good excuse. But did I really want that to be the excuse that I walked through when I had to look my babies in the eye and realize at one point, because a lot of you know, that the drama and the chaos that I went through almost made me homeless. If I ended up really having to go to a homeless shelter with my kids, the excuse, your daddy isn't here, I can't find nobody to help me, I lost my job because of the stupidity, really? Are those really valid excuses to tell my babies in the middle of that mess? That's when I decided I had to be clear. So clarification was needed. I had to close off some pieces of my past, some of the things that I was easily able to turn to as an excuse and decide no more. And then starting to connect myself with things that was going to bring me the desires of my dreams, the desires of my hope, the peace that I was looking for. So you can choose to see challenges as opportunities and develop a practical solution, or you can look at those moments of hardship and then decide, I don't really want to walk through the work that it takes, because y'all, it is work. It is not easy to go through the drama that you've gone through and have this easy path show up. It's not, it is not going to happen. And the minute you decide that you're going to have to move past your excuses, past your pain, past the easiness of life, and recognize that there is a way to transform what you want, get the desires of your heart, and move into a better position. Those moments of hardship that direct you to resources, you need to start maximizing them. You need to start using them, and you need to start making sure that they're available for you. And that's the thing that I had to start walking myself through. So to get me there, I created a plan. My first plan were the 3 C's. What do I need to clarify in this moment? What do I need to connect to in this moment? What do I need to close off in this moment so that I'm not waiting endlessly for some support to come? And when the opportunity shows up, they ask me, do you want to be whole? My answer will be yes, and not an excuse. Because sometimes I have the financial security, the lifestyle you desire, and the peace of mind you deserve. It starts with you making a transformative change in yourself. There were things about Tanya that I had to stop and tap into, because the insecurities that my divorce dredged up was not just from that marriage. Those insecurities were placed there in past moments and interactions with people that were no longer around. I let the past hold me hostage. I let the past keep me still. I let the past be an excuse not to do the work that Tanya needed to do. Like telling Tanya that she was comfortable with people looking at her, wanting to say, I apologize for what you went through, because there's something that was in my soul that wanted somebody to see the pain, to see the hurt, and acknowledge that it existed. I wasn't looking for solutions. I just wanted acknowledgement that the hurt was real, that the hurt was there. But that was not going to get me where I wanted to be. So I had to choose. Do I want to really let this be my moment, or do I want to close off needing validation from someone else about what I walked through? because I walked through each of those experiences. I walked through each moment of that pain, and I did not need to have somebody else validate that it was real. So I chose. I chose to be whole. I chose to do the work, and it was not easy, y'all. Some of you know my story when I looked in the mirror, and it took me 3 years to stop crying. When I told myself I loved me, when I told myself I was wonderful, when I told myself I was beautiful. Why was it so hard for me to validate me? Why was it so hard for me to walk through the pain of the past and decide Tanya was worthy of love? Tanya was worthy of giving what she had always been given to everyone else. Sometimes you have to be your support system. You have to develop the plan and the process that you give to others freely for yourself, and set limits on your pain, because it will continue on its own. It will just manifest the way that it desires. But if you make a decision that today will be the last day, and that you will take the necessary steps towards making the changes that you need, so that the dream that you have was not destined to wither away. I don't want that to be your story. I want you to be transformed. I want you to be whole. And if you want to make the decision to transform your life today, I have met some amazing women that have done the work themselves. They have gone through the pain and the process of developing strategies and innovative steps that can get you whole. And I encourage you to join us March 2nd from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are coming together for a masterclass that will give you the innovative strategies to make the transformation that you need to get whole, to get healed, and to move past the excuses and make the conscious choice to discover a new path to your breakthrough. Because now is the best time for you to transform what's happening in your life today. Because today, today is the first day of the rest of your life. So join me March 2nd, 2023 for our masterclass, March into Transformation, so that you can get the strategies that you need to achieve the goals that you desire to have better than what life has given you. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. Move past the excuses. Make a decision to transform your life today, to have the dreams that you desire so that your life can be better. And if you're looking for someone to join you on the journey, you all are aware that I'm available. You can easily go to my website, TanyaEhood.com. There you can click under the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. And I want you to share this with someone. Like, share, and pass this on, because sometimes if you are not the one that's in need of the solution, you know somebody that is. Give them the opportunity to see for themselves, to experience for themselves, to move into a better direction. I look forward to seeing you soon. And if you're on Instagram, you can join me live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that we can continue the conversation, or we can start a new one. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose. And I want you to do the same.